Hey everybody, welcome back to the Carve Cast episode 10, and we have a special bumper edition today because we have got 3 guests. We've got Holly, Jade and Molly, and we're going to do a special destination spotlight on Zermatt. Now this is my personal favourite place, the place I know the best and the place that I've been to the most. So we've got a lot of information to get through. And it was only in December that we actually all went there as a group of... How many of us?
9 of us. I think it was about 9 of us, yeah.
Was it more?
I think there was 11.
I thought it was 11.
No.
9.
It was 8 or 9.
Us 4, Lila, Jodie, Nicole, Reese, Yasmin.
9
Did I
then.
say Jodie?
It was 9. Yeah.
9. Okay, 9 of us. We only got back from there, 3 months ago. So we've got a lot to go through. So just before we do actually, because this will be probably the last episode before I go away and actually these guys go away as well, let's just run through that quickly. So I leave this Saturday and I'm going to go to a number of places. In fact, let me quickly see if I can find my places. So I'm going to do Leger and Morzine for a couple of days, Val de Serentines, Les Arcs and Le Plana, Pila, Saint Foy, Not Sure, which isn't a ski resort but is in my notes, Val de Serre again, and then we've got a whole week from the 18th to the 24th, which is all of us, plus a couple more in the Three Valleys, where we return for our second adventure. And it really has got a lot to live up to because that was my favourite ski trip of last year, was us 4 plus Lila in the Three Valleys. So we're going back this time, everyone with a lot more ability. So I'm hoping that one's going to absolutely rock when we go back there this year. So that's super exciting. So I leave this Saturday, and then just tell everyone when you lot are coming out and how that works while I find my notes.
We're flying on the Monday, aren't we? Monday the 17th.
For a week. And we're flying, believe it or not.
Yeah, usually we go in the fun bus. Az is going to be in the fun bus by himself with all of our food and suitcases and ski gear, and the 3 of us and Lila are flying out from Gatwick, I think, aren't we?
Yes, straight to, I was going to say
Geneva.
But no, it's
Geneva.
Geneva.
Yeah, Geneva, yeah. Which actually is the same place. If you were to fly to Zermatt, you would more than likely fly into Geneva. So what we actually did last time, let's go through that first of all, because we're doing it again this time. So last time I drove out actually about more than 2 weeks before you guys, and I took in the van, and I've got a Transit Custom van, I took every single person's ski clothes and in some cases snowboards and all of their clothes and everything for when they arrived in Zermatt 2 weeks later by aeroplane and train. So they didn't have to pay for any luggage or anything like that on the planes. They could just jump on the plane, come straight out the airport, get on the train and come to Zermatt. So in fact, why don't let me pick Molly, tell everybody what how that journey worked. So you got on the plane at Gatwick, then what?
So we got to Gatwick, we flew into Geneva, then from Geneva we walked through to the train terminal, and then we got the train from Geneva to...
Visp, I think it is.
Visp, yeah, and then we changed there, and we went straight through to terminal in Zermatt. It was so straightforward.
Yeah. Oh no, because you go straight to the terminal. Oh, yeah. So what we did, guys, was
we had one stop, one changeover. That was
it. But they Molly and Yasmin came slightly later. So Holly, Jade, and a whole bunch of others. What they did is they actually got the train to Tash, and then they went to the car park in Tash. I opened my van remotely.
Oh my gosh, do you remember this? We had to get all the luggage
on the app, and these guys took all of their luggage and then they put that on the train and brought that to Zermatt. So I didn't have to go all the way back from Zermatt to Tash and then come all the way back again because, well, actually I was skiing.
It's like all the way back as well. It is literally like
10 minutes.
a 10-minute train journey.
Yeah. So when you go to Zermatt, one of the unique things about Zermatt is there are strictly no cars. So when you go to Zermatt, the closest you can get to there is to park at a place called Tash. And when you arrive in Tash, they've got this most insanely clean car park that's inside, and very secure. You go in there, you park, you take all of your stuff out, and they have trolleys that you put your stuff on. And FYI, the trolleys are 5 Swiss franc coins each. So if you do drive, you need to make sure that you've got a couple of these little 5 franc coins, and you put them in the trolley machine. You get your trolley out, stack your trolley up, push it to the train, and then the train takes you from Tash to Zermatt in about 10 to 15 minutes. And it's a pretty beautiful train ride as well. But when you're on the train as well, you have to make sure that your trolley is facing the direction of the arrows, and that you also clip it in because it's a bit uphill.
Yeah.
Otherwise they'll roll around all over the place. And also don't think as well, because it's such a lovely place and everybody's so nice, that there's not the chance that someone could take your things. So just make sure you're looking after your stuff when it's on the train, because someone could easily take it if you just walk off away from it. So you get the train from Geneva to Zermatt or Tash stop, etc. Blah blah blah.
And it's double decker as well, which is really cool.
The
Sure,
first
the
part.
trains are
I'm
amazing.
sure it's double decker.
Yeah, the first part is to
Yeah,
to
but
Vis.
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
that's
Vis.
so good because you can
I don't
literally
think either
see.
of ours were, but then we
Wow.
were much later at night.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we changed over, but the trains are a lot nicer than the
They're
trains
so
in the
clean.
UK.
And you literally get such an amazing view over the Geneva Lake.
Yeah, I think you
It's
came at
insane.
night time, didn't you?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Yasmin and I flew out the Friday evening. We arrived about 9, 10 o'clock, I think.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
yours was
So
late.
we missed the view. Well, just as we left the airport, you could see the views and it was stunning. But we'd been travelling for about 14 hours, given our travel up to the airport, and I slept. So I missed it all anyway. But then on our way back, coming back to the UK, we had a lunchtime train, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
So we saw the lake and the snowy mountains.
Yeah,
and-
it is beautiful.
Yeah,
The
it's
train goes
beautiful.
literally right over Lake Geneva and all through the cities around Lake Geneva as well, and it really is beautiful. And then the closer it gets towards Tash and Zermatt, the more mountains you see, the more snow you see, and it just gets more and more and more beautiful. But do bear in mind, if you go like late March, April, it won't be quite so pretty on the way there. So it's really, mid-November to probably mid-March where you're going to get that snow like the whole way through, and it really just looking stunning. And actually, in terms of times, I can drive from Calais straight through to Zermatt in about 9 hours roughly. So then you've got to add on the train on the front of that. So it's typically about 12 hours door
It works
to
about
door.
the same amount of time for travel from
Yeah.
door to
So
door.
on a train and a plane, by the time you get to the airport, wait at the airport, yada yada yada, all the things we know, they are very similar. However, plane and train would be way cheaper unless you've got a big group of people in a
Yeah.
car, and more environmentally friendly as well, probably. Although planes aren't they? So who knows?
Yeah, it's the cost of the luggage that's the deal breaker, isn't it? If
Yeah.
you've got an Adam with a big van who can take all your stuff out in advance, then you're winning.
Yeah. So this week when I go to the Alps on Saturday, I'm taking everybody's luggage, and then these guys are flying out luggage free in a week or so's time. And then obviously I'll have all their stuff and we'll meet up and we've got an apartment, blah, blah, blah. But then just tell everyone, Holes, when you get off the train at Tash, what presents itself to you.
At Tash or at
Zermatt, sorry.
So we get into the terminal and then it's a massive square. Last time we went, it was all the carriages and horses, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's Christmas.
Yeah, in the winter, in fact, all through the main season, which is basically the whole sort of ski season, a lot of the very expensive hotels have horse and carriages, and a lot of the time the horses and carriages are in the square, so they are particularly beautiful especially when everywhere is absolutely covered in snow.
With the Christmas tree.
Yeah, and a Christmas tree as well. But Jade, then when you've walked out of the station, you get onto the high street. Tell everyone what it looks like and what you experience in your mind.
It's just really picturesque, isn't it? It's just really beautiful. You've got a high street with no cars. There's, the only way to get around is those little matchbox, electric
Taxis.
It's like a little
taxis.
tuk-tuk thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but they literally put your suitcase in the back and they put your skis on the top, don't they? But
It's like you're actually in a snow globe.
Yeah, that's a really good way to
and
explain
FYI
it.
as well, the train journey from Geneva Airport to Zermatt is about 100 Swiss francs return per person and takes about 4 hours. And yeah, that's how much it costs. So do bear that in mind as well when you're doing your travel. The nice thing about Geneva Airport is that you don't have to get any transportation from the airport to the train station. The airport is in the train station.
That was one thing that I was really anxious about, like just travelling in a new place and whatnot, was the connecting times for the trains and worrying where we had to be. And it is as straightforward as you get off the plane, you walk through the gate into the terminal, and there's just 2 big glass doors that say train. You walk through them and you're there. It's really, really straightforward. And even changing the trains as well, when you get to, what was it, Vis? Is that what it's called? You come in one way and go out another. You walk under a tunnel, and all of the platforms are there. So it's
very well signposted
as
well.
Straightforward.
It's actually a really nice train station area. It's got remember
nice
got that bagel?
Yeah, really clean.
What was it, bagel?
It was a bagel, yeah.
Literally massive round one, wasn't it? All filled with like yummy
And
stuff.
they had a shop for amenities.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you get onto the high street at Zermatt, it is very unlike any ski resort that you have been to before. A lot of the ski resorts are super pretty, but Zermatt just takes it to a whole new level, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys agree, but it is just the most remarkable, beautiful thing. And at certain spots, you just get that massive Matterhorn in the background. Sometimes it's got clouds around it, sometimes it's clear, sometimes you can't see it at all. It's forever changing. And it's in like this valley where it's sort of like built out as well. So you've got apartments and chalets and houses and buildings just going up to the outsides that almost merge into this like just beautiful mountainside views. And it's big.
Yeah, it's massive.
It is
pretty big.
high street.
Yeah, the
There's
high street.
multiple high streets.
And they've got the ice, rink, haven't they, behind?
Big ice skating rink.
Yeah, which is amazing.
And then also, if you think where is it Thai Japanese restaurant we walked up to? You've then got the whole way along the river, and the church is up there. It's
You've got
when you look at the high street, everything's very quaint and cute, and so you think it's small, but actually the more you think about it and give it thought, there's so many little off-roads and streets and
definitely.
I love it.
Yeah, and different après areas as well. Yeah, it is really quite a unique place. It's one of them places you have to sort of go to understand how beautiful it is, because even places like Grindelwald and Gstaad that are both beautiful in their own right, they don't quite have this sort of quintessential, beautiful, I don't know, look like Zermatt does. It's almost like, because you can't drive there either, and there's no cars, there's no traffic, the bubble is more so because you're in a bubble, aren't you?
Which is ironic given the fact that I would say of all of the ski resorts I've been to, it's probably the least like après party. You really feel like you've arrived in a ski village, and at 7 o'clock everyone's back up for the work the grind the next day of getting up onto the mountains. There's no late night,
not like
knees up. Yeah, it's, if you're looking for a party place, I would say Zermatt's definitely not it. You do get a feel that you're there to ski.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's very special.
If you come off that main high street and you go over to the one that runs parallel to it, there's that outside après area
where we all stopped at for a drink.
And then opposite that there's that, like, I think it's called the boathouse or something, where it's like in the shape of a boat. And
that's where you met your friends.
Yeah, there is some après there, but yeah, it's not Val d'Isère, it's not Val Thorens, it's not like maybe even Courchevel. It's not those kinds of places. It's very sophisticated, very classy, and just stunning and beautiful. But a few things about Zermatt itself. Let me just run through a few facts. The resort height itself is 1,620 metres. So it's not like Val Thorens height, which is 2,200 metres. It's pretty average for the bigger ski resorts, I would say, although a lot higher than a lot of the smaller ones, Megève, Le Jade, and a lot of those kind of smaller ones. But the highest skiing point, which is really what Zermatt is kind of known for, is very close to 4,000 metres, which is absolutely unique, because there are, I don't think, any other ski areas around, maybe one that is anywhere near that height. They're all a few hundred metres at least below that, and that is the Matterhorn Glacier Paradise that you can get multiple gondolas up to get to. There's a total ski area of 360 kilometres which is absolutely vast, 53 lifts, and also the longest run in the world on the other side that goes down into Val Tournai, which is about 28 kilometres. You've also got about a 20 kilometre run, which actually goes from the Matterhorn Glacier Paradise all the way down into Zermatt, which is crazy long as well, with a huge drop as well as part of that. And the ski season in Zermatt for the glacier is every single day of the year, 365 days a year, which is basically the only place in the world that does that. Even Teens and various other glaciers usually shut down for a little bit. Zermatt is open all year round. It's also linked to Chevinia, which we went to, didn't we, loads of times. Yeah. So you basically ski up one side and then you don't ski up. You get the gondola up one side.
That would be very difficult.
That would be very good. But I did see electric powered uphill skis the other day. So you go up one side and then you go down the other side and you can go all the way into either Chevinia or Val Tournai. And those runs over on that side are just the vastest, widest motorway red runs that you will ever find. There is just the most vast collection of huge, great big motorway runs. We'll talk about that later. Multiple blue runs, 74 kilometres, although I would not say that Zermatt is the best place for beginners. It's, if you've been maybe on 1, 2, 3 ski trips, it will be unreal. If you're a little bit more experienced than that, it will be absolutely out of this world. The vast majority of his red runs, 230 kilometres of red runs, 70 kilometres of blue runs, and 60 kilometres of blacks, along with some free ride and off-piste yellows. When you do go over to Chevinia, you do not need your passport, FYI. You just go up and you go down. There is no passport control, no nothing. And they also have huge amounts of artificial snow coverage should they need it. But because of the height of the resort, it's pretty much taken care of. They have the fastest lift that there is, the Matterhorn Glacier Ride, which is a huge 3S gondola. And the highest cable car station in Europe, climb Matterhorn at 4,000 metres. So there's some facts about Zermatt. So let's just talk about some of the different areas. So we'll do one each and we'll see if you guys can remember what is what.
I'm so bad at remembering all the different areas.
So
ski resorts. I don't know how you guys remember them.
All right, so there's basically 3 ways up into the mountain. You have the train, which I've forgotten the name of.
The scenic.
No.
Oh, what's it called?
The one that goes straight up.
You have the vernacular. That's the tube.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the train. What's the train called? Gornagrat. You have the Gornagrat train.
I love that. That ride up into the mountains is beautiful.
The one that goes
Gornagrat train that's right next to the apartment that we stay at, which is a physical cog train that is probably, I would imagine, the most beautiful train ride in the world. It's absolutely beyond beautiful. You get unreal views of the Matterhorn. You can take your skis on that or as just a passenger, and you can go right up to the very top of the Gornagrat area. Or you've got the vernacular, which takes you from Zermatt all the way up to the Suniga area.
And that basically goes through a mountain, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
so that's like a train on a 45-degree angle. It just goes straight through the mountain. That takes you up into the Suniga area. And then the other way up is the gondola at the Matterhorn Paradise Station, which takes you up to Fury.
That's the one that's busy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
and then
isn't
from
that
Fury,
like the most modern, high-tech gondola in Europe or in the world?
Not that one, the next one that goes from Trockenesteg to the top.
Okay.
Because you change. But at the gondola itself, it goes to a station called Fury, and then you can actually go to the Gornagrat Riffelberg area on the gondola, or you can get the train. There's 2 ways to get to that area. But for the Matterhorn Glacier Paradise, you have to get the gondola, and for Suniga, you have to get the funicular, unless you ski from Gornagrat to Suniga. But you can't ski from Gornagrat to the Matterhorn Glacier Paradise. You have to come down and go back up. So that's your 3 main areas. Suniga is
testing.
Yeah, Suniga's quite.
Which one is that? The one where Nicole spent a lot of her time?
No, that was the Gornagrat area.
That's where we lost Jodie.
Yeah.
Oh, and we bombed it down there with Reese.
Yes.
Like we did 2 or 3 laps.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So Suniga is more twisty, turny, kind of fun.
I'd say
Reds.
versatile is probably the best way to describe it, because you've got at the top of it, it's very, this is the bit where we lost Jodie,
Yeah.
So you've got the top bit, which is very vast, and you've got, and then I would say midway down, you've got these vast, wide, normal kind of runs, but then you also have the valley part as well.
Yeah,
I'd
but
say it's
also,
quite
do you remember
versatile.
where went off to the left? There was that crazy run as well that was neither narrow nor wide, but it was very like twisty, and then we ended up at the station
really steep.
that's named after the people who make the clock, the watches. I can't remember what they're called.
Swatch.
No, another one.
But also there was the beginner part down that area as well.
Yeah, so they have a very, very beginner area over in Sunaga as well, which has got like a magic carpet and a complete beginner area. I can't remember what it's called, but that's where you would go if you were a brand new, never skied before beginner. But also the blue runs in Sunaga are not that easy.
They're not blue.
Yeah, there's actually. Do you remember that one blue that literally had one of the most steepest runs in the whole of Zermatt that we went on, and it was just. It wasn't very long, but it was a serious
and it was
drop.
slushy as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you could go around the outside. They had like a little runoff where you could go around the outside instead of going down it.
Isn't that where we saw the magic opening?
Yeah, but for a blue, that's not what
It's not
you
a
want to
blue.
go on as a.
But they
beginner.
don't have green runs today in Zermatt, so
No.
it's
In
blue,
Switzerland.
red, black. So it's, yeah, your abilities are a little bit, don't get too ahead of yourself.
No, in fact, if
You go on a red run and you feel like you're on a hard black.
Yeah, if you've been skiing maybe once or twice, the best place to go in Zermatt is the Gornagrat area, which is where I took all of these guys straight away. And we had some real beginners with us as well. And they've got 4 or 5 runs over there that are all blues. And they're not easy, but they're not hard blues either.
They're wide, so you've got a lot
Yeah.
of room for mistake if you need to make a mistake.
Yeah, there's elements that are difficult because when you come to the end and you have to go through that tunnel around the like that bit is fairly steep and it can get quite difficult. But for the most part, there's even parts where you have to give yourself a little bit of a push at times. So
Which is not good for snowboarders.
no, and that there's a red actually that's part of the Gornagrat area that really isn't a red, which is odd because there's loads of blues that should be reds, and then there's that red that should be a blue, which is kind of strange. And you can actually ski between Gornagrat and Sunaga, but that is a fairly difficult run as well with lots of narrow areas and whatnot. So yeah, there's no beginner area in Gornagrat. It's only like a blue area. But how beautiful is it in Gornagrat? Like, it's stunning. The chairlift's amazing. You can lap it over and over, and you can take different routes. They have a couple of really nice bars and restaurants up there.
At Bray.
Yeah, they had a champagne bar, didn't they, when we
Yeah.
were up there? Really, really beautiful area. One of my favourite areas just for like cruising blues, basically. It's just a lovely area. And then you have the Matterhorn Paradise, which is there are no blues, there's only reds and blacks. So you can go up there, and there is a tiny little area by Trocknesteg where you come out, where you can lap the magic carpet if you're a beginner. But unless there's no real place for someone who's not beginner, but someone who's only skied a few times. If you've only skied a few times in terms of days, you really need to be on the Gornagrat or Sunaga at a push.
And that's also, I would say, of all the runs we did, probably the busiest. I think there's always a lot of people on the times we went up there. There was always a lot of traffic on there. With people
Yeah,
coming
because
down.
a lot of people are heading over the other side to Italy as well. But it's so vast up there. And when you get to the Trocknesteg station, which is a bit of a hub, there's loads of runs. You've got some really cool runs that go down off of that, which you can lap all the way down to Ferg. But then also you can go slightly just over the other side, and then you can lap the 2 big Fergsattel reds. Do you remember the 2 that
big
come down
motorways.
together? Yeah, and they are vast motorways. Yeah, tell them about them, Holes, like what you see when you go up. Like those runs, what do they look like?
Oh yeah, they're huge in width, aren't they? Huge.
Yeah.
The left side is more. I'd say the left side. It depends really on the day and if it's been groomed or not. But it was more bumpier. Whereas on the right side, when I went down it was a lot more smoother.
Yeah, I think that was probably to do with like the snow, how chopped up it was, and everything else. But
Potentially.
typically, as you're looking at them, rather than coming down them, the one to the left is steeper initially, but then has a longer flat section. But then the one on the right, bearing in mind this is when you're on the chairlift, not coming down them, is not as steep, but the steepness goes on for longer, if that makes sense. So they are spectacular reds though. You can lap them on the Fergsaddle lift like time and time and time again.
Jump park was as well.
and
Yeah.
jump park.
And you've got the park as well for anyone that wants to go over the jumps. And there's also the like race area.
The race track, the race area. What's it called?
Yeah, I don't know.
The slalom.
Yeah, they've got the slalom practice there. Yeah, there's loads of stuff over by those Fergsaddle runs that are just unreal. And then if you go right to the very top of the Matterhorn Glacier Paradise, which is the next one up, it's at that point where you can either come back down and come all the way back down to Tropnesteg, which is a cool run, or you can ride the T-bars on the glacier, or you can head over to Cervinia. And
it is cold.
Yeah, it's cold.
That
at 4,000
I've never
meters.
felt anything like
Brutal.
that. And also the altitude, you're so high up. I think you told me about it, and Jade was saying to me a few days before we did it how it takes your breath away. And I'd completely forgotten she'd said this. So we'd gone up there. We've been skiing for maybe 20 minutes, half an hour, and out of nowhere, I just felt like I couldn't breathe. Honestly, it felt like someone was sat on my chest, and I had to stop. And I was taking off like my bath and my helmet, and I was like, oh, I really can't breathe.
You have to get down.
And then one of the girls was like, it's probably the altitude, and I'd completely forgotten that you told me that, but it was no joke.
You get used to it quite quick though. You get that initial loss of breath, and then you kind of adapt after
But I think as well, for me, it was a mental thing. So as soon as someone had said, oh, it will be the altitude, I then remembered that Jade had said that. So if you are up there on the mountain, you suddenly lose your breath, here's your word of warning. You will be all right, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you know what it is, you're fine.
Yeah, as soon as you start skiing down, you're fine, aren't you?
Yeah, and then you get down to Cervinia. The journey down to Cervinia is mostly massive, great, big, wide reds, but there is a section where it gets quite narrow, and you go down a dip and then up the other side, and you have to build some speed there, and it is a bit hairy. But when you get to the other side, you get to the top of the Cervinia area, and it is like M25s all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
I've never been to another ski resort that is like that. It is
That
just
was our best day.
yeah.
That was amazing. That was my favourite individual run I've ever done.
Yeah, it's unreal. And you get to the top, don't you? And then you ski down, and then you just have these runs that are so wide and so vast, and they're not like steep. They're not steep. They're just like the perfect pitch.
Well, we took Yasmin with us, and
Yeah.
that was she's
her
a
second day of skiing,
beginner,
Yes.
and
Yasmin
she
is.
skied the whole way to Cervinia with us.
Yeah.
Mad.
So our friend Yasmin, she came. She'd never skied before, other than we'd done quite a few training days in Landgraf and in Hemel Hempstead, and it was basically her probably second or third day, I can't remember, and she skied in snowplow all the way
She did.
from the top of Cervinia. From the top of the Matterhorn Glacier Paradise all the way into Cervinia town, down all those reds. And some of them are, I wouldn't say any of them are hard, definitely not
Do you know
hard.
what I would say though?
But they're not
Yasmin
easy.
is fearless. She is a fearless skier. She is very much like, just get on with it. I don't know if that day would have worked as well with someone who was fearful.
Yeah.
I think we would have probably had to stop and wait a few more times. But she just thought, you know what? There's a glass of wine at the bottom. Let's go.
Yeah, and
Yeah, she did.
the restaurants in Cervinia ski area that are your average restaurant, not your a la carte, are way better than the ones in Zermatt. They do really, really nice food. It's way cheaper. It's a cooler atmosphere. It's a more relaxed vibe. It's amazing.
Hot
I was
chocolate.
about to say that, good hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate.
The thickest hot chocolate.
You guys probably don't realise, but that run that goes from Matterhorn Paradise all the way to Cervinia is a really long run. It's about 20 kilometres, I think, and it's a long run. Like,
It did take us quite a long time.
yeah, if you're going to go over there, you need to get up and go, like straight away. You can't faff around. You need to get up, go. It will take you about 45 minutes to get to the top, and then it will probably take you, depends how fast you go, but you're probably looking at an hour or so to get all the way down the other side. But then it will take you a good hour to get all the way back up again, and you need to be back up ready to get over by 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But there's a restaurant about halfway down which is lovely. We all stopped there, didn't we? The Italian
It
place.
was like a log cabin with,
Beautiful.
big sheepskin rugs
Good
everywhere.
food
The
as well.
service was amazing.
Oh, the
was
food was
really
amazing.
And it was
Yeah.
packed. It was absolutely rammo, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then you keep skiing, and the wide, vast runs just continue, and they are genuinely, if you're wanting to like practice your carving, or you're wanting to practice anything whatsoever, or just have these beautiful, perfect pitch, like groomed runs, that is the place. It's better than Zermatt for stuff like that. It's just off the chart, and it carries on all the way. And then all of a sudden, you'll see the little town of Chevinia at the bottom, which also puts into context how big and beautiful Zermatt is, because they are uncomparable in their aesthetic and in their vast and their size.
Chevigna's lovely, but it's nowhere near as beautiful as Zermatt. You don't get down to Chevinia and go, oh my god, that's amazing. No. You think, my god, I'm in Italy. I've just skied into Italy, but you don't think. Like, you see a couple of little places, you think, I've got to pick somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not anything like Zermatt, and it's not anywhere near as nice, but it is about half the price at least, I would imagine.
Yeah, but it's really cool that you've skied over.
And it's higher as well, you know. That's about 2,000 metres, whereas Zermatt is a lot lower. Yeah. And you're right on the Matterhorn there, but the Matterhorn doesn't look as good from the Italian side.
It's the back of it, isn't it?
Yeah. It doesn't. I mean, it hasn't got a front and a back, but the Zermatt side, it just looks out of this world. Whereas when you're in Chevinia, it's like, it's like it's there and it looks good, but it doesn't have the same impact like it does in Chevinia. In Zermatt on the Swiss side. Yeah. And then the lifts, they're not as up to date in Chevinia.
No, I think...
And not as
there's just no comparing. It's incomparable. It's the most amazing place in the world. Yeah. But to be able to ski as well, like I love the fact that you can go on a ski trip and then say we've skied into 2 countries. I just think that's a really cool, fun thing to be able to do.
Yeah, it is phenomenal. And in fact, with a big group of us, all just like bombing it down those big wide red runs, there's probably no better feeling than just this big group, and we're all just cruising through these beautiful runs. And it's so rewarding. I can't advocate enough. That journey down into Chevinia has to be done. But you do really want to try and do it on a Bluebird day
for
and
sure.
Also, what you have to remember is, because of the height of Zermatt, there's always big chances that the very top gets shut and the link between Zermatt and Chevinia gets shut. Because if the winds hit, I think about 80 kilometres an hour, they have to shut it. So if you're there for like 3 or 4 days or even a week, and there's the opportunity to get over, don't think to yourself, oh, we'll do it on Friday. Just do it right then and right there, because it might not be open on Friday. It only takes certain situations. Like, we was there a whole day, and in fact the whole place was shut, the entirety of the resort. Oh, yeah. Although, bearing in mind, we were there early December, only half of it was open. Yeah. So
which is such a weird thought, considering it just constantly snowed.
I know, yeah. It felt like they were just unprepared, which is unusual for the Swiss, but maybe there was more to it than we realised. But yeah, we got there literally like just after the first week of December, and I'd say probably like 50% of it was open, and by the time we left, probably 70% of it was open. But I would advise, if you're going to go to Zermatt, that you go either late December or anything through all the way up until late April, because everything will be open by probably mid-Jan, and even early Jan there will still be things that are potentially not open, obviously snow dependent. But then when you come back up all of the chairlifts to the top of the Matterhorn Paradise from Chevinia, it's a lot of like not modern chairlifts, isn't it?
One after the other. That's where Lila fell.
Yeah.
Quite steep fall, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But that's because they're just not like the Swiss, are they?
No, they are not as keen on health and safety as the Swiss. That is definitely a definite statement.
Which only got stuck because she was shouting help. They had to come and pick her up and take her off of the chairlift.
Yeah, because on one of the chairlifts, you got to the top and it was on like this huge mound where they hadn't prepared things properly, and you just dropped off. People were just about managing it, but then other people were like falling off, and then other people were worried to get off, so they were staying on the chairlift and they had to come and physically pick them up and take them off, and that would definitely not happen in any Swiss resort.
No, it was funny.
Absolutely not. But then the journey back down from the very top of the Matterhorn Paradise, do you remember what that's like?
Very flat.
Yeah, but it's
like really steep, meandering, tiny, narrow tracks.
Yeah, and then
that's where my skis went.
Yeah, because actually on one of those days, when we came back, I don't know if you remember, but I don't know if you were there actually, Miles, but a couple of people in our group got stuck on that little tiny area, and it took them so long to get down that the snow machine and the ski patrol took them off the mountain.
Yeah, that's come and get them.
Yeah, and they wouldn't let us wait for them. Yeah, they wouldn't even let us wait for them and help them. They were like, "No, we'll deal with it. Like, you need to go.
We were late.
You're out of time."
We needed to get back.
We're always the last one.
But you go through these like really quite difficult tiny little runs, and then it just opens out again into this insanely wide run that is totally like discombobulated from what came before. It's huge, and it is a bit flatter than you would want, but you can really have some fun down there because you can do what you want because it's not particularly steep. So you can really have some fun down there, and the longer it goes on, the steeper it gets. But not good for snowboarders, by the way, guys. If you're a snowboarder, but for a skiers, obviously you give yourself a push, or you can build up a bit of speed. And then it comes down into Trot and Steg, and then you can go down into Ferg, and then me, Holly, and Molly did from there all the way down into Zermatt as well, which was pretty cool. And we stopped at a really beautiful little restaurant, didn't we? Yeah, right down in the village. And yeah, when that's open, that is particularly good as well. But those runs are difficult. Do you remember how steep and icy that bit was before it flattened out into the trees?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was super tough.
I'm trying to remember it.
It was almost vertical, and Ads, I think that was when you were poorly, wasn't it? Or you'd hurt your knee, or something had happened, and Ads was at the top, and we're kind of giggling, and then we're like, oh, okay, maybe this isn't that funny. And it was like vertical. Ads is like, I'm ready to go home. And we stopped off, had a drink.
Oh,
and but it was like, I remember the bottom of that being really icy or slushy.
Super icy,
and it was trying to navigate, and it was after a long day as well. We were like, oh, get home.
it was super tough, that one. But I'm sure in better weather that would be unreal. In fact, I've done it in better weather, and it's an unreal slope. But when it's a sheet of ice, it is quite difficult. And then let's talk about some of the restaurants in Zermatt. So Jade, pick out a restaurant that you remember and talk about it.
Grampy's.
So tell everyone about what Grampy's is.
Grampy's is it's Italian, isn't it? Grampy's.
Yeah, but proper authentic Italian.
Proper authentic food. Yeah, it's amazing. Their spaghetti bolognese is just next level. It's amazing.
And it's quick. We had starters and mains, then our mains came out before.
Me, you and Jade did, didn't we?
Yeah.
We went in there and it was so quick. The food's like really good. They've got their own like pizzeria area as well. They make all the pizzas.
Yeah, probably stone baked pizzas.
Yeah, and it's just
carbonara,
and then they've got all the picture frames are all on the ceiling. That's the first time we ever went there was for your birthday, and I picked it. And the reason why I picked it is because it had a Spitfire on the sign, and I just thought, oh, that's a good sign.
And would you say that in general Zermatt is expensive or cheap?
No, it's expensive.
Yeah, and would you say, what value would you say Grampy's is compared to everything else?
So good.
Grampy's is one of the more affordable places to eat, but it's proper authentic Italian.
100%.
So your quality of food is just next level.
Yeah, really good.
I can't remember eating out that much.
There's another place that we went to a couple of times.
There was that hotel, like Benihana, but Zermatt.
Yeah. The Japanese place when they proper chop it up and cook it on the
teppanyaki something.
That was called.
So there's a teppanyaki restaurant. I can't remember what it's called. You'll find it though if you search for it, and it is actually right next to a hotel that I stayed at. I've also forgotten the name of, but it is there, and it's also got another type of restaurant next to it as well.
Is it literally called like Thai and sushi or something?
No.
It's got like one name, I think, like Kayo or Kayo or... What are you going to look for? The teppanyaki?
Yeah.
Because you stayed there, didn't you? Before?
Yeah, it's actually owned by the...
And that's how you found out about it?
Yeah. I can't remember the name of the hotel that I stayed at. Oh, it's called Fuji. Oh, our light's just gone out. It's called Fuji. Yeah, Fuji of Zermatt.
But it was basically like you're sat at a massive grill.
Yeah.
And then they cook all the food on the grill in front of you.
Yeah.
And it was just very like sociable.
Yeah, it's like Benihana's in London.
Do like a massive like display of fire.
Yeah.
Was it with the egg?
Yeah.
They did the egg. They were firing bits of rice at us.
Oh yeah, we was catching it in our mouths.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really great. That was one of the nice places we went to.
But that is super expensive, FYI. Yeah, very, very expensive.
That's like one of those places you have a 7-course set menu.
But then you can also go into a lot of the hotels, can't you? Like, and just have a drink in the hotels. Like, there's some really beautiful hotels there.
What about the
Piano
kebabs?
lounges.
Oh yeah,
Went to the kebab place.
Take It, Donna.
Take it, Donna.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's Take It, yeah.
Is that what it's called?
I think so.
Take It,
We
Donna.
went there quite a few times.
Take It, Donna.
Yeah, because I remember Adam sending
Take
over
It,
the
Donna?
picture of
Or
it.
was
I was
it-
like, go on, girl.
Take It, Donna. Or no, it was.
But they were quite expensive for a kebab.
McDonald's.
They were, but-
McDonald's in Zermatt. My
No, I thought it was quite a good value.
remortgage
Oh,
your house.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
McDonald's. McDonald's was like,
Oh, McDonald's. It's the most
40
expensive
flipping
McDonald's.
francs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's insane.
Yeah.
I don't think I ate out anywhere else. Mind you, I was only there for a long weekend. So we did Grumpy's, we did the Japanese
Teppanyaki.
place. I did
Kebab.
McDonald's.
The kebab, I just think, I love the kebab.
Did we eat in? We didn't do a cooking night, did we? We had a
Oh,
really amazing apartment, which, to be fair, we didn't really utilise. We should have
No.
done a big dinner in
And
the
actually,
same.
that apartment
That's
had a
why-
great kitchen and stuff.
But then again, there was
in
9 of us and a table for
There
about
was.
4.
That's
Yeah.
why we've
Yeah.
now changed what we're going to do in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Take food and utilise
Yeah.
the place.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
going to talk about that in a minute, actually, before we finish. But yeah, the kebab shop's good value. It's about £15 each, but you get the hugest amount of
Box.
food you've ever seen in your entire life.
Salivating.
Salivating. And the quality of the food there is really quite something. But yeah, all of the like really expensive hotels that you've got there, like the Montchervin and some of the others, they are unreal. And you can go in and you can have drinks and you can eat. And we did that actually a few
Yeah.
times. They have live music.
Oh, no, sorry.
And various other things, and they are
there's an
absolutely
awesome
stunning.
hotel.
That's
I can't
when
remember
you
the name of
came.
it. Next door. No. There's a place right next. So it's opposite the ice skating rink, which in the summer turns into
where
a
you
tennis
two
court.
That's where we
And
stayed.
opposite it, there is.
That's when me and Adam stayed for our anniversary.
Oh, you. Oh, sorry. I thought you.
Yeah,
meant
that
the one we
is
rode up.
the boutique.
It's right next to
hotel.
Intersport. So the Intersport that is opposite the ice skating rink, just next door to it, there's this big glass. It looks like a big glass elevator right in the door, and you can go in there, and it's a very, very cool little cocktail bar. You go downstairs, really amazing ambience in there. I think it used to be. There's also an old-fashioned theatre inside of it,
It does.
as well.
It still works. They have films on all the time, but you just got to check if they're in French or in English. Because sometimes they're in French, and not
That was a
French.
really cool little spot.
Yeah, it's
and then the
brilliant.
ice skating rink is there through the winter,
Yeah.
spring months, and then it turns to tennis courts. They were
Yeah.
saying.
Lots of shops, like
It's easy
Yeah,
to
little
rent as
trinket
well.
shops
Ice
as
skates,
well.
isn't it? Because
no,
they're
even
just
that,
on the
you've got
Intersport.
Montclair. You've
Yeah,
got the
if
other
you've got deep pockets, it's good for shopping. But
Yeah.
there's not really your H&M or your Zara.
No, it is full of very expensive shops. But the ski shops are unreal. They have huge variation. Like you can buy anything, and there's a lot of ski shops there as well. There are
Yeah.
multiple ski shops.
the best pancake place.
Yeah, Stephanie's Pancakes. Yeah, unreal. Yeah, there's a little cinema there as well in the bottom of the boutique hotel opposite the ice rink. It's pretty much everything there. There's a gym there. There's a couple of supermarkets. Oh, in fact, a little note on the supermarkets. There's Coop, which is very expensive, and then there's Migros, which is less expensive, and then there's one other that I can't ever remember the name of that is even cheaper, and it's right down the bottom of the high street next to the train station, but I can never remember the name of it.
Oh, I know what
It's
you
not
mean.
Nisa, is it?
What is it called?
Nisa? It's not Nisa.
No, I can't remember what it's
I
called.
know exactly what you mean, and I can't remember the name of it.
I think is it Denner? I think it's called Denner. Yeah,
Maybe.
Denner. Yeah, Denner. It's that one, Denner.
Yeah.
And that is a lot cheaper. So if you do want to buy food,
Oh, we went in this.
yeah. And actually, even though the Coop is expensive, it has the most amazing like pre-prepared food. They have heated food, they have hot food, they have everything
Oh,
in
it's
there.
such yummy food.
Yeah, all fresh. Like everything's super nice in there. There's a restaurant for everybody. There's bars for everybody. There's loads and loads of places to go. There's loads to do. That hotel that's next to the teppanyaki is called Hotel Albana that I stayed in, which is another nice hotel as well. In fact, to name a couple of the hotels, there's the boutique hotel which Jade and I stayed in. There's the Albana Hotel, which I stayed in. I also stayed in Hotel Romantica on my own, funnily enough, which was really nice. And there's a whole array of different apartments that suit every price range as well. And in fact, we found one that sleeps
Well, no.
10. Is it 8 or 10?
8.
8. Okay, we found one that sleeps 8. I think one of us was on the floor. And for the whole week that week, I think, and it was quite a busy week, I think that was about £2,500, which I think for a big apartment, and it's massive. Huge, yeah, absolutely huge. I think that's quite good value. So everyone that says like it's inaffordable, blah, 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 there are a lot of more affordable places you can go to without having to spend like crazy amounts of money.
Yeah.
And obviously if you've got 10 people and it costs even £3,000, that's £300 each for a week. That's not the end of the world.
Ski trip, that's nuts.
Yeah. So it's not like unaffordable. The train from Tash to Zermatt is about 30 Swiss francs, I think. So that is, a fair amount. The parking is about £15 a day in Tash if you want to leave your car there. The train, I said already, is about £100 from Geneva Airport to Zermatt. And then your tickets for your ski passes are, give or take, let's say £75 a day, roughly. If you buy more, it's less.
I think it was £403 for the 6-day pass, and then it was 52 on top of that to do a separate pass into
Cervinia.
Italy.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. If you do want to go to Cervinia, you need to add on the international pass, and it's cheaper to do it for your whole stay than it is to start doing it individually. So there's that as well. But actually, pretty much everywhere, we just did Lazare. That was about €400 for the week.
But also just to note, so when we were talking earlier about the different forms of transport going to the different mountains, they're all included in your ski pass. So whether you're on the train, whether you're on the funicular, you're on the gondola, it's all included in your ski pass for the week.
And there's loads of buses you can get on that are all included as well.
Yeah.
The taxis are quite expensive during peak season. They can be quite expensive, but you can get taxis from wherever you want to get them from. But yeah, the lift pass actually is not really that expensive, because we just did Three Valleys is £395 for 6 days for an adult. Not pound, euros. So that's what, £350. So Zermatt is maybe £50 more expensive. Yeah. So it's not a massive difference. Expensive. The place that I've been to that has the most expensive day ticket there's two. One is Verbier, which is even more than Zermatt, quite a bit more. And then Gustard
is that the one we did the first day of our Grindelwald trip?
No, that was Gustard.
That was a lot.
That was a lot, yeah.
How much was that?
But also, when I was in Zermatt...
What was it we paid? 92
Yeah, it was like
euros
90 Swiss francs. So that's basically pounds.
For the day.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Millionaires ski.
One thing I will say...
lifestyle lemonade budget.
is the Zermatt, the whole place, the quality of everything, the service everywhere, the infrastructure, the slopes, the grooming, the everything is all as good as it will get. And I think a lot of these lift companies use Zermatt as their place where they take other resorts to show them the latest and the greatest. So it has the latest and the greatest lift structure. It has everything you could ever imagine. If you ever want to go training there, connect Snow Sports, or Jason, left, right, and they can help you out. But yeah, Zermatt in all, to me, if it was on a star rating, in fact, let's go through it and do it as authentically as you can. If I had to give Zermatt a rating out of 10, I am giving it a 9 out of 10. And the only reason I'm taking a point off is because there are quite a few narrow areas and quite a few flat areas, and I would really like for there to be more beginner areas, so you could take people that have never skied before and that it would be more adequate for them. But that's really my only negatives. What are you giving it out of 10? Holly?
Harley.
What did I say?
Harley. I'd probably give it an 8.5, 8.5 or 9. Only because nothing is perfect, like it could be better in ways.
Yeah, definitely, What are you giving it?
I'd say 9.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
It's the most complete ski resort I've ever been to, for sure.
What?
I'm controversial with Zermatt. I absolutely love the town. It is probably my favourite place I've ever visited in the world, and if you get a chance to go. But I only went for long weekend, and 3 out of 4 of those days were complete whiteout on red runs that were pretty hard red runs. And I like to be able to see everything. I love a bluebird day, so I don't feel that...
You got to see it.
I don't feel like I got to see it or experience it as much as I could have. But I love the trip down to Italy, so I'm going to give it an 8.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
And when I stayed there, I was there for just over 3 weeks, and my ski pass went down per day quite significantly because it was longer. Like, I think mine worked out maybe £50 a day because it was over a longer period of time.
Zermatt is, so for any viewers who are from the US, I know I was talking to this older skier one evening when we were out, and he was saying, so over, I don't know, don't take this as gospel, but over in the States, I know the ski passes per day are a lot more expensive. And so they have a season ticket.
Yeah, it's the Epic Pass.
Yeah, and and Zermatt Resort is included within that.
Wow.
Within that.
Yeah, so basically, I
Bundle.
don't think it's the Epic Pass, or is it? It's either Epic or Icon. I think it's, it might be Icon, but anyway, it's either one of those two. But if you're in America, you get 1 week a year part of your pass, and you can go to Zermatt.
Zermatt's included,
free,
isn't it?
but it doesn't include Chevinia. You have to pay extra for Chevinia.
But that's 54 francs.
Yeah, it's not a lot, and it adds on. It adds on so much. I can't remember what one it is. I think it might be the Icon Pass that Zermatt is on, but it's on one of those two big passes. But yeah, anyone else got anything else to say about Zermatt?
Visit it.
Yeah, go.
Yeah.
Go at Christmas time. Go in December. That's I think
then
partly.
the only thing is with December that all the stuff might not be open.
But it's so Christmassy,
I know,
and I think that's
magical.
why I fell in love with it so much, because you do feel like you're in a Christmas.
But if you go there to maybe ski if you can, but also to look around the village more, and you don't have your heart set on ski, then you can obviously enjoy the village a lot more. You know what I mean? I think.
Dig. So basically, yeah, that's me. And one thing I will say as well is, if you're looking at prices for Zermatt and it's too excessive, go to Chevinia. It will be half the price. Our local ski shop, they're booked a week there, and he was telling us how much it was and the deal they got, and it was actually insanely good value. And you can then at least go over and experience Zermatt, and maybe even book like one night over there and then come back the next day and at least get to experience Zermatt. But either way, you can at least go over there for the odd day trip. And Chevinia itself is unreal anyway. It's the most amazing ski
Did we
area.
go over there with like my mum and your mum and dad and that as well?
May
Yeah. So we obviously skied, which was mad to ski in May.
was.
But they obviously don't ski, my mum and your mum and dad.
Yeah.
And they just did it all on foot. They went over to Chevinia, didn't they?
Yeah.
So it can be done. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't want to ski, you want
No,
to
they
go
have
to
plenty
Chevinia.
of facilities for pedestrians.
Yeah.
Yeah, plenty.
Yeah.
And walkers.
I would love to go in the summer, because I know people who go over there in the summer to explore, like to go around the lakes and all of that, but then to be able to go up high to the glacier and still be able to ski.
Yeah.
That would just be the
But
most
still have
amazing
the
trip.
heat and all of that.
One
down
thing
in
I
the
will
village.
say though, because we have been in the summer, one thing I will say about the summer is, when you go up, it's not all green fields and lakes like a lot of the places like Grindelwald are. It looks like Mars. It's all dirty grey rocks.
Yeah,
It's
weird.
all grey rocks. It's grey rocks and the odd lake, and it's still pretty in its own right, but it's not that beautiful field of green and. You know,
maybe I won't go in the summer then.
Yeah.
That's only when you're up the top though.
Yeah, but then you do
On the
go.
glacier.
You literally get to a certain height, and then it's glacier, snow, and it is unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is the
it
weird
doesn't
thing.
look pretty on the way up outside of
What
winter.
is the temperature difference? Like, if you were to go in July, when you're down at the bottom, is it hot? Like,
Yeah,
you
it's
have your
30,
summers
yeah,
there,
25,
and
it's like
then you
here.
go up and you've got your thermals on.
Potentially, yeah.
We were sunbathing, to be honest with you, when we got home, because the skiing shuts at 1-2 o'clock in the afternoon
in the summer, yeah.
And we got home and took our layers off and started sunbathing basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hot. Really hot. Yeah.
August birthday, ski trip pending.
Yeah.
Watch
No,
this
it is.
space.
It is unreal up. It is
Yeah,
unreal up
on the
there. It's so
glacier.
beautiful. And then let's quickly talk about what we're doing going forward. So we mentioned it earlier. I'm going off on Saturday, which is today. What's the day today?
Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, so I've only got 2 more days and I'm out of here, and I will be skiing for 9 or 10 days. And then these guys fly and meet me at Geneva Airport on a week on Monday night. Yeah,
17th.
and then we head to our apartment in the Three Valleys, and then we've got 6 days skiing in the Three Valleys. And obviously these guys won't need to bring anything because I'll have it all in the van, and then we head back. But let's just go through quickly, each person, what you're looking forward to in the Three Valleys. Jade.
Oh,
I looked at her as well.
I know. I am looking forward to skiing more in Courchevel.
Yes, I second that.
Okay.
Because
I think
we
we'll start
didn't
in Courchevel.
ski that much in Courchevel, and I want Holly to experience it as well.
Yeah.
'Cause she
Yeah,
didn't
you
actually do it
didn't
that
ski
day.
on our last day,
And
did
it's
you?
so cool there because you've got some really nice runs, haven't
Oh,
you?
I can't wait. I
Yeah,
actually am
it's
really
so
looking
nice.
forward
And
to
then skiing
Courchevel.
into beautiful Courchevel, and then go and have lunch.
Lunch in Courchevel.
Let's hope we get some good snow because at the moment it ain't that great.
Oh.
But Holly, we're looking forward to.
As much as I'm looking forward to skiing, I love the evenings, the games nights, the food, just the coziness of it all, really.
Yeah.
Okay, Molly, that was boring.
Yeah. You can stay here and look after the dog for the week.
Yeah, we're going skiing.
Save everyone a fortune. Yes, I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to exploring Courchevel more because we
And
barely
there was
scratched the
Montclair
surface.
on the slope of
can't afford
Courchevel. No, but I said to you, we did it twice. The second time I said to you, we're going to stop, and we just went past it again.
Oh, that's
Do you
where I dropped my
remember?
pole.
And I
Okay,
went,
yeah, I do remember.
Oh, it's gone again because it's on the run.
I do know what you mean. I'm also
Literally.
looking forward to doing. Why can I never remember the name of the area? Up at the top,
Val-Thorens?
between Maribel and Val Thorens.
Oh, Les Memoirs.
Layman Weir,
Yeah.
the runs up there again, just rolling. Oh,
Yeah, they
absolutely
are
love
good.
it. And also, I am looking forward to. I don't think you'll be joining Courchevel Folly Do's. We're doing it.
Oh my
It's
gosh, I
happening.
forgot
We
about
went
the
to the
Folly
Val
Do.
Thorens one.
Maybe Bagatelle
Personally-
as well.
Oh yes, I didn't personally rate the Folly Do at
Val Thorens.
Val Thorens.
Oh,
We're
In
back!
business.
Yeah, wow.
I want to do the one in Courchevel.
yeah. I think that's a sign. We should do that as well because the lights came back on.
Is that light bulb moment?
Yeah.
I am looking forward to skiing with all my best friends, most of all, and seeing much more of all of the areas. Now we can do all the red runs as well and the black runs even potentially. We have no restrictions, whereas before we was a little bit restricted about where we went, whereas now we can do all of it. We can experience the whole of the Three Valleys, and I really am looking forward to heading over to the rail side on the other side of Val Thorens, which I really want to go
Have we
to.
not done that?
No,
Oh.
no, we didn't even do. We didn't.
Are
Really
you doing that by
ski-
yourself, or are we doing
No,
that
we all
when
do
we
it
arrive?
together. Yeah, we all
Oh,
do it.
God.
Oh, and I've booked Jade and Lila the dog
Skiing.
rides.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
to put that in the diary. Yeah, that's gonna be so
No,
cool.
we didn't ski Val Thorens at all. We skied Les
Into
Memoirs
Val Thorens.
and into Val Thorens,
Adam
but we
hated
never
Val
did.
Thorens.
Yeah, Val Thorens.
Adam hated it. He did one. We were by the sign that said Val Thorens, and Adam was just looking over like, nah, not for me.
Because all of a sudden we were like on our own, and then you look down there and it was just like an ant factory. Do you remember?
However, we did find the most amazing restaurant in
And it was
Amsterdam.
We did find an
Slushy as
amazing
hell.
restaurant.
in Val Thorens.
Yeah, it was
We were there a week and a half later than we're going this year, so hopefully it'll be less slushy this year. Although I prefer slush to hard pack, so
Yeah, true.
yeah.
Cannot
And then what else is there that we're looking forward to? Yeah, that restaurant in Val Thorens, that was unreal. But that restaurant as well, I love at the top of Courchevel, the white one where we set everything on fire.
Yeah.
That's a story for another day.
Oh.
And then, do you
When we
remember
were
where Holly's
freezing.
set everyone's clothes on
Oh
fire?
no, yeah, that was around the fire.
I was
Yeah.
blind, so we had to move
Oh
table.
my gosh, and you had snow blindness in your eyeballs because you bought crap goggles.
Yeah.
And then refused to wear them. And
Yeah.
I was skiing down green snow. That was fun.
Yeah, but I think as well, Jade loved Courchevel because the runs that go into Courchevel, for the most part, are basically flat greens. So Jade absolutely loved it. But much like Outdoors, when we go back, I think she'll realise they're a little
Actually,
bit
I
too
think she
tame.
just enjoyed it because you weren't behind her screaming at
Maybe
her.
that's probably-
Because me and you went shopping with Holly, and then Jade
Yeah.
and I stayed up there, and we were like, "This is the best part of the trip."
Yeah, definitely. We're having a great time.
Yeah, those runs up there are amazing. And we can literally cover the whole entire place this time, top to
Yeah.
bottom, back to front.
We
can,
need
like,
to focus
work our way
more on
through.
Courchevel and other areas of Val Thorens because I feel like
Last time we just
well,
carried, yeah,
we were Mirabelle on
Mirabelle,
like
yeah,
a loop, but
briefly.
also we were limited because do you remember after a few days the weather turned
Yeah.
and a lot of the lifts and the links were closed.
And
So
it was so brown, slushy in areas, wasn't it?
so Mirabelle will definitely be visited, but we need to focus on the other two sites.
And there's Courchevel goes up quite high as well. That we didn't. I did actually a day up there, but we didn't do that.
Oh, okay.
And then we need to head all the way up to the top of Val Thorens and over the other side into Arel, which will be really cool, and all the way down into Arel village as well, which is going to be quite cute.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's a different village.
Yeah, and Val Thorens is a lot bigger than you give it credit for, so we can do a bit of Val Thorens as well. We just need to try and find places where it's not as Ramo, because the difference in the amount of people in Val Thorens compared to all of the other areas in the Three Valleys was stark. It was ridiculous. Val Thorens was packed.
Oh, I know. I've just realised, light bulb moment. There was that huge race going on. That cross-country race that went
that was
from
in
Val
Courchevel.
Thorens through to No, it was the day we went down to Val Thorens, because we were going this way along down into Val Thorens, and there was that cross-country race going
Funny
on.
thing with those funny skis that they had on.
No, that's in Courchevel. We went over the top of it. That was when we went all the way down to Latagna. Do you remember? We went down to Latagna, and when we came back up, they were all underneath us. Yeah, no, it was on the Latagna
I'll
lift.
back you up on that because I remember it, but I don't know if it was.
No, trust me, it was definitely Courchevel.
Maybe it was.
It was somewhere.
It was
when we was there.
Yeah, it was good though. It was good fun.
Yeah.
And then we skied from there into Meribel. It might have even been Meribel actually, but it definitely wasn't Val Thorens. It was the opposite side.
No, that's what I'm saying. It was in Meribel, but I feel like the traffic, because of that middle section, was just absolutely rampant. So us going into Val Thorens anyway,
busy,
it just felt like the whole day there was just crowds of people.
Yeah.
And then you get down to Val Thorens, and as you come down into it, it is just people everywhere.
But in all the runs in Les Memoirs and when we went from Courchevel down into Latagna, all through the trees, and we went to that pancake shop, we were the only people there. Like we were literally on our own, weren't we? For so much of like those bits. And even in Meribel, it wasn't particularly busy when you were actually skiing out a bit. It was in towards the hub that it got.
But yeah, Les
busy.
Memoirs, we were always the only people ever on any of the runs.
Yeah, there was no one else there.
Man.
Maybe because it's so ugly. not the slopes, but the town.
Oh, the town.
Yeah. Well, some people really like it. I actually don't mind it, but it is a bit scummy in the town centre, isn't it? Like Les Memoirs. Remember, it's got that.
It's a bit scummy in it.
Yeah, it's got that. Do you remember? It's got that indoor like place.
Oh,
with all the weird shops.
The centre, the crystal shop where Lionel was.
Yeah. It's a bit odd.
Yeah, it's very strange. Yeah.
St Martin's Bellevue is beautiful. Courchevel is unique. Meribel is lovely. Val Thorens is ugly. Les Memoirs is fugly. And they're odd places. They're very odd places. Like Les Memoirs is just a bizarre place. And Courchevel is a bizarre place as well because it's so tiny, but it's so just snobby, I suppose.
Yeah. It's very snobby, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's amazing
Everyone's
to look
trying
at
to
it. And
show what they've got.
Yeah.
Whereas that's the thing, when you go to Switzerland, even though it's even more wealthy in like Zermatt and Gstaad and places like that it's not as pretentious as it is in Courchevel. In Courchevel, it's so pretentious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas in Gstaad and Zermatt, people aren't really.
I don't know. I think
flaunting
Gstaad was.
Oh, Gstaad.
I think Gstaad was just so stand out because you could tell how rich everybody was.
Yeah.
But I don't really feel like anyone was particularly like sitting there.
I think because it's
showing
just
it
so
off.
the norm over there. It really is like, it's like the Bel Air of the ski world.
Definitely.
No one really batters an eyelid. No one really cares. They're there to ski and that's it.
And actually, let's just talk about one thing. So, normally when we go away, we all just stop at the restaurants on the mountain. I don't even mean the nice a la carte restaurants because that's a whole separate thing. That's worth paying for. But the normal restaurants where you basically order a schnitzel and chips or a hot dog and chips or a sausage and chips, it's all beige food, which I don't hate beige food, but
no, but remortgage your house.
Yeah, but it is £25-30 a eat.
Ridiculous.
And it ain't that great no matter where you go. What's wrong with that?
You're going to think scummy and fugly and you're going, ain't in it,
Ain't is in the dictionary, though.
Are you looking forward to being away with us for a week?
But so what we're doing this time, what we've decided is, and it actually started off even not as particularly budgetary, but more we're just sick and tired of eating this beige food every single day and paying for our noses for it. So we have loaded up the van with literally a lot of shopping.
Beige food.
Yeah, and we're gonna cook.
Ravioli. Beans.
Yeah, but it costs £1, not £30.
Stop this, let's move back and tell.
Yeah. But so we're going to basically take our own sandwiches onto the slopes, our own food, our own snacks,
bits and pieces.
And in the apartment at night we're going to cook for ourselves rather than go out. Although we will definitely have some nice a la carte lunches when we're out. We'll do Bagatelle, we'll do Folie Douce, we'll do a couple of other places. But yeah, we're not going to waste like crazy amounts of money on schnitzel and chips and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely not.
The dog's stuck behind the chair. There she is.
But yeah, anyway, guys, that is it. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you get to the end, write the word Bagatelle in the comments so I know and I can enter you into
Get
my
to the end, well done.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing it. And we thank you very much. Thank you to my squad. And we will see you all in the next one. And I'm probably going to do the next one if I can be bothered on the slope. Not on the slopes, but in probably the apartment in the Three Valleys.
Oh,
yeah.
We'll see you in Three Valleys.
Hopefully see you then.
Bye.
Bye, guys.